If you're thinking about moving to the Portland area in 2026, you need to watch this before you even start your search, because the neighborhoods that people keep defaulting to, some of them aren't the right call anymore. And the ones flying under the radar right now, they're moving fast. So today in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 7 neighborhoods near Portland, Oregon in the metro, why each one of them is the right fit, what's happening on the ground. I'm going to be your boots on the ground and the one thing that most buyers miss about each area. So let's get into it. So let's start with the one that everybody always asks about, Lake Oswego, about 8 miles south of downtown Portland, Oregon, along the Willamette River. Now, this is the gold standard of the Portland Metro in 2026, and that reputation still holds true. Top tier school district, walkable downtown village, a genuine community feel, and the safety and livability that numbers backs it up year after year. Now, hear me out. The median prices run upwards to 700 to 800K plus, depending on how close you want to be to the water. And here's what most buyers miss. Lake Oswego has micro pockets. There's a real difference between a home with lake access and a home east Highway 43. And if you're budgeting towards the lower end of this area, you can still buy in the school district and the community without paying the full lake premium. That distinction alone saves some buyers upwards to $200,000 on the home price. Now, I remember I had a family relocating from the Bay Area who had a Lake Oswego near the bottom of their list. Just flat out too expensive, too suburban. They wanted to be a little bit closer to the city. At least initially, that's what they thought. We toured it as a comparison, of course. And by the time we got back to the car, their entire list had flipped. They were under in contract in 2 weeks. It's not a bargain, but it's a reliable, consistent value for families prioritizing schools, and it's still, till this day, it leads this market. This next one is where the value story gets real interesting, so stick with me here, okay? Beaverton, Oregon. It doesn't get enough credit, and that still rings true in 2026. 7 miles west of Portland in the Washington County district, a city of maybe 100,000 plus with real infrastructure, light rail directly into Portland, walkable core, and some of the best international foods in the entire Portland metro scene. And honestly, it's sitting right at the entrance of Silicon Forest, Oregon's tech corridor, Nike world headquarters. Intel has major operations here nearby. And whenever you see that kind of employment anchor, values tend to follow. Now, median prices are definitely much lower than what I've just mentioned in Lake Oswego. It lands anywhere as low as $450,000 upwards to $600,000. Again, that's the medium range. And for what you get, that's a true value in this market. I've had buyers see what a $550,000 house buys them in Beaverton versus east side of Portland. And honestly, it frankly just stops the conversation cold turkey. More square footage, better schools, larger yards. That is the signal most buyers ignore. Beaverton is one of the most diverse, culturally rich communities in the entire Pacific Northwest. And that makes it genuinely a true, interesting place to live long-term. Both friends, families. It's not just a place that you settle for. First-time homebuyer, remote workers, relocators from major metros around the US. Beaverton belongs at the top of your list. And this next one is completely changing for a completely different reason. So you gotta pay attention, okay? Hillsboro, Oregon, about 17 miles west of Portland, even further along past Beaverton. And in 2026, possibly the most strategically positioned suburb in the entire metro. Hear me out, and here's why. Intel, like I mentioned, it's the largest US campus here, employing tens of thousands of people. And then you have the Max Blue Line, connects you directly to Portland, Oregon, and the downtown core in itself. Now, the downtown has seen years of sustained investment of Hillsboro, Oregon. You're seeing new mixed-use developments, retails, restaurants. This isn't speculation, this is already happening right now, okay? Median prices run as low as $430,000 to $570,000. So that is affordable. That is a pocket in a sense of these first-time buyers can actually find something that is clean, single-family homes, all for under $500,000. And for a city with this type of level of employment, infrastructure, and growth trajectory, that number will not hold forever. One thing I want you to know specifically, Orenco Station, a walkable master plan neighborhood built around the Max stop inside Hillsboro. Coffee shops, a Saturday farmers market, tree-lined streets, real community feel. It punches way above its price point, and it's the kind of neighborhood that people move and never want to leave. Now, this window it doesn't stay open forever. Buyers in Hillsborough right now still have that leverage, and that phase has an expiration date. Now, a completely different vibe is the one that surprises almost everyone. If you guys are finding this information helpful about the neighborhoods around Portland Metro, definitely hit subscribe. I drop videos every single week talking about the real estate market here in the Portland Metro area, what works for you and what works for your family. So definitely hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys there. Thank you. Now, if you have kids or planning for kids in the future, Sherwood might be the destination for you. 15 miles southwest of Portland, tucked between Tigard and Tualatin. It's one of the fastest growing communities in the entire metro, and for a good reason, okay? The Sherwood School District consistently posts some of the top academic ratings in Washington County alone. The Old Town has a genuinely walkable main street, local restaurants, tuck-in shops, community events. The Robin Hood Festival has been a town tradition for many, many decades, and that tells you something about how rooted the community identity is here. Medium home prices tend to be a little bit higher, $550,000, $700K, and what you typically get is new construction homes. This is why it's typically a top location for a lot of the clients I've helped relocating here to the Portland Metro area. I'm talking bigger lots, modern finishes, actual builder warranties. That kind of product, it's truly hard to find, okay? Especially at this price point. And we're closer to Portland, Oregon. Now, hear me out. I once had a family move to Sherwood a few years ago, 3 kids, both parents, switching careers completely. When we walk the neighborhood, the mom turned to me and literally said, "This is the first place out of everything we turned toward that I can actually picture my kids growing up here." And I felt that. I felt something. I heard some of that vision and version of that line in Sherwood more than almost anywhere else in the metro that I work. Now, this is where lifestyle and long-term growth meet together. Now, it's not the flashiest suburb on this list, but it's potentially one where your family tends to be the happiest from 5 years and on out. Now let's talk about a suburb that's central to everything. Tigard is the geographic hub of the Southwest Metro. Portland to the north, Beaverton to the west, Lake Oswego to the east, Sherwood to the south. If access to multiple parts of the metro matters to your household, Tigard could be your answer. Median prices tends to be a little bit more favorable, especially for first-time homebuyers, as low as $430,000 upwards to $580,000. You get freeway access, light rail proximity, and then you have the infamous Fano Creek trail system running right through the city of Tigard in itself. It's one of the better urban trails networks in the entire metro, and I stand by that. Pay attention to this because Tigard has been running a multi-year downtown urban renewal effort, a concerted effort or push to build more walkable, livable core, and that's the exact type of development signal that precedes value growth. Demand here in Tigard is rising, supply isn't. And this is the pick for buyers who need flexibility. One partner commuting towards Portland and then another maybe towards the tech corridor, all centrally around the west side of the Willamette River. Practical, central, and truly underappreciated. Now, if you're considering one of these metros that I've already spoke about and it might be a good fit for you, definitely reach out to my team and I. We help relocation clients move to the Portland metro area every single month. And so if you're just needing a little bit of handholding or a little bit of guidance, maybe breaking down the budget, definitely reach out to my team. My description is in the below, or even book a call. Now we're heading east, and this one is the one that changes the whole lifestyle equation. Oregon City. Okay, now this one is slept on. It's hardly ever talked about, especially clients that I've helped here. And it's the one that surprises almost everyone. Sitting right southern edge of the Clackamas County, about 13 miles south of Portland. And most people haven't been here since a field trip to middle school. That's a mistake because Oregon City of 2026 is a completely different story. The historic downtown sits on the bluff of the Willamette River and it has real bones. A walkable main street with locally owned restaurants. I literally almost every single weekend, since a lot of my friends live in that specific area, I'm grabbing breakfast as one of my favorite breakfast destinations in Oregon City, right on Main Street. And then you have a multitude of wine bars, coffee shops, and art scenes that's been quietly building for several years. The Minnesota elevator, one of the only few outdoor vertical street elevators in the entire world, connects the lower town to the upper residential neighborhoods. It's genuinely one of the most unique urban environments in the entire Portland metro. You walk it once, and you'll get it immediately. Median prices typically run $390,000, $530,000. And for a riverfront historic community, with this level of character and access, that is one of the better value propositions in Clackamas County right now. Now, this is where lifestyle conversations really change. Oregon City isn't trying to be Portland. It has its own identity, and that identity is what's drawing a lot of the younger people, younger wave of buyers, creatives, remote workers who want something with a little bit more texture, history, instead of another master planned cul-de-sac. I remember I brought a couple here who described themselves as lifestyle buyers, right? They wanted walkability, good food, creatives. Then they were frustrated because everywhere in their budget, it just felt generic. It felt the same. So we spent 2 hours walking Oregon City's downtown, and the wife turned to me and said, okay, I think this is it. Why haven't we been here before? They were the ones that I stopped trying to sell. The town did it for me. And this is where the gap is, okay? The lifestyle of Oregon City offers is priced well below what is comparable communities charge for it. That gap won't stay open much longer. Now let's finish with the neighborhood flying under the radar, but not for long. And it's one of my personal favorite, okay? Last on the list, and I saved it here because this is the one I want to stick with you. Milwaukie, Oregon, 5 miles south of downtown Portland, right along the Willamette River, connected to the city via the Max Orange Line, growing food scene, riverfront access, Kellogg Lake Park, and as of 2026, it's still one of the most priced inner ring suburbs in the entire metro. I'm talking median prices run $390,000 and then only upwards to $500,000. For a suburb this close to Portland with this level of transit access, that is a genuinely relative value, and it won't last at these levels, at least not indefinitely. Right now, this area still feels early, and that's the advantage. The buyers who got into Milwaukie 5 years ago are sitting on real appreciation. The buyers who move in 2026 still have a window, but it's tightening. And this is exactly the type of place people ignore right before it changes. So by the time most people notice, prices have already adjusted. And that's why I wanted to end it here, Milwaukie, Oregon. And that's it, 7 neighborhoods, true neighborhoods. Lake Oswego, Beaverton, Hillsborough, Sherwood, Tigard, Oregon City, Milwaukie. The one right for you isn't the most popular. It's the one that fits your commute, your school, your lifestyle, and where you want to be 5 years from today. That's exactly what I help, especially people who work through all of this. So if you're thinking about moving to Portland Metro, whether it's 6 months from now, 6 weeks, or 6 years, the link is connected to me in the description. No pressure, just a real conversation on what it makes sense for you and your family. If this was helpful, hit the subscribe button. Please, it definitely helps out the channel so I can drop more videos. And I put out honest videos about Portland Metro content every week. And definitely drop a comment. Give me an answer to this question, okay? Which neighborhood surprised you the most? I read every one of them, and I'll see you at the next video.